So have you heard of 2-4s and 4-4s? Have you heard of that when it comes to DEI? Like hiring a gay black woman, you get 2 for 1 because you get a woman hire
Let me ask you a question.
Get a gay hire.
Because here's my
all
point.
in one.
Because I want to kind of beat on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am all for laws that that allow for civil recourse if there's discrimination, right? Meaning, if you are the best for the job and you don't get it because of your race, your sexual preference.
I don't know how you prove that though.
Well, I mean, I think it's easy. I mean, especially in professions that are like score-based, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, when you're talking about like certifications and testing for being a pilot or, being a bar exam as a lawyer, if you don't hire a black lawyer whose resume speaks for itself, it's bar examination, it's law school, all those things, pretty easy to prove. Like, what was the rationale? What was the rationale for not going with this guy, right?
Right, it's my friend.
Right, but
Jermaine isn't.
But that would be discriminatory. I think you'd have a hard time.
But these are normal practices.
But this is my point. My point is that if hiring somebody less qualified than the person who is more qualified, I believe that there should be recourse for that.
But how
so that
much-
protects
Yeah.
that protects against discrimination. But quotas to say that we have to hire
Correct.
this person because
Correct.
he's gay.
Correct.
We have to hire this white woman because
Correct.
she's a woman. We have to hire this black man.
Correct.
Right? That to me seems like reverse discriminatory. Right?
Yeah.
And you can understand why. Now keep this in mind. I'm going to try to bring you in. And again, a lot of this is me playing devil's advocate, right? But I'm going to play devil's advocate and bring you into like I'm 37, right?
Okay.
So I'm a little older, but like 30 and under, like white men and young adult white men. You gotta remember, it's 2025, right? A 22-year-old wasn't even born for 9/11.
Correct.
Okay, these young white men know they've grown up in a post 2000 era
man.
where everything's. Remember, the first president they remember was a black man, Barack Obama, right? So if you tell a 22-year-old white man that he knows he's the most qualified, he's the best candidate, or say getting into college, and he knows he has the score to do it, but doesn't get in, but they take
Because
somebody of
of
another race. Do you see why
right.
a 22-year-old white male would feel away, right? If he sees spots being given to women, gays, blacks, when he's the most qualified, because he doesn't see the world
The way
that somebody born in the 60s would, right? And that's the difference, right? And that's why I think you see kind of this conservative movement amongst young white men, because they're like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Like I got a 32 on my ACT.
Yeah.
I look at everything I've done and I don't get in, but they give it to this guy who got a 25.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't seem fair, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reverse mentality. And I think that is a lot of the people that Charlie Kirk tapped into
Absolutely.
are young white men. But when I look,
But they're in college.
yes, but that's the demographic. That's what made the Turning Point USA movement powerful, because it became literally like the youth apparatus for Make America Great Again, for the MAGA movement, right?
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that they're hitched
Correct.
at the hip, right?
Correct.
And again, I've never voted for Donald Trump. I am a Democrat. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm as Democrat as it gets, right?
I want to ask you a question, as a friend.
Yeah.
What type of person do you think took him out? If you're talking about his power base and his target audience, we're saying a 22-year-old white male shot him. Whether we believe that or not is another discussion.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that's true, right?
I think it probably is true.
Okay. So what kind of person would take a man like that out when he's trying to build that power structure?
Well, I think that listen, we clearly don't, we obviously don't have a clear picture of what. I don't want to speculate on something that we know little about.
Correct.
From what I've heard in the media reports, like his parents were conservatives, right?
You're talking about
big
the
hunters and shooting.
Yeah.
Tyler Robinson guy.
Okay.
Right? They said his parents were conservatives, Trump supporters, big hunters. By all accounts, he was close with his parents. The videos I've seen that they posted of him online from social media, he seemed like an awkward kid. I mean, I wouldn't be
A
surprised.
lot of the assassinations lately have been young white kids,
Yeah.
like on their own.
But I also heard, and it could just be rumor, that like his roommate wasn't really his roommate, it was like his lover who was in the process of transitioning, right? But that could just be bullshit too. So I don't, but let's just say let's play that out, right? Let's say that is real.
Okay.
Right? And, you know, he's in love with a man who's transitioning into a woman or vice versa, and he believes that Charlie Kirk's, positions
Is against who he loves.
is inherently harming
Yeah.
the rights of the person that he loves, right? And he looks at this guy as being evil, right? And basically spreading evil,
Correct.
right? That probably could trigger a weaker-minded
Yeah.
person into taking,
Measures
violence,
in their own hands.
taking a violent approach to what they perceive as a solution to a problem, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to put myself in that mindset because that's like not who I am. I'm a
Absolutely.
debater. The truth is, I would love the opportunity to debate Charlie Kirk, right?
I can see that.
Because I'm a debater, inherently. Right?
Yeah.
And I like a good debate, and I like the discourse,
Yeah.
and I like the argument, right?
Okay.
But listen, don't think that I'm naive to it too. Like, listen, that's part of what offended me with this whole thing is that obviously I've been a part of some very controversial
Yeah.
things here in the
But what
Midwest.
bothered you the most about this whole Charlie Kirk thing?
What bothered me the most about it is because I looked at it as truly an attack on, because you gotta remember this, usually in political violence situations,
Yeah.
the person's a politician,
Okay.
okay? This is a,
Whether they deem so or not.
most of them they are, though.
Well, you mean like true to the core?
Yeah, Gabby Giffords was a congresswoman when she was
Okay.
shot. Scalise was a congressman when he was shot playing
Okay.
baseball, the
Mhm.
baseball game. The Minnesota Speaker of the Minnesota House.
You want to hear
Yeah.
something funny but sad?
Was it?
I feel the same way about hip hop artists.
Yeah.
When they get killed or when they get RICO charges and
Yeah.
things like that. Because I used to be a hip hop artist,
Yeah.
so I feel the attack
Mhm.
on hip hop from law enforcement.
Yeah.
They've never been on our side.
Right.
They've never wanted us to do what we do, and I admit we get a little arrogant with it as well, and boisterous
Right.
about it. Same with to Charlie Kirk's point, and not to cut you off. I'll definitely come back to your point. When you're an artist
Mhm.
and you speak about elements of poverty,
Mhm.
gangster shit, you attract that element.
Of course.
And Charlie Kirk was big on attracting that element.
Right.
I
agree.
don't know his.
Listen, I hate to say that. Listen, I think what people want to hear. I think that. Fuck it, let me just say it. I think the elephant in the room is there's a lot of people that are like, he got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
Right? He got
You
what was
think
coming-
he knew?
He got. I think. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Just because I know how offended I was by it, because I see that there's always a real potential for violence here.
Yeah.
It could even be towards me, right? Especially when you're politically involved, right?
Right.
Is that, I think that you always are aware. And he had to be more aware because I'm not putting myself
Correct.
on his level.
Correct.
And millions and millions and millions of followers, right?
Correct.
He had to be aware that there was a real potential for risk, which I think is admirable if you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whether I agree.
Well, you can't let
whether-
fear in the room. at
But
that
whether
point.
I agree or don't agree with
Yeah.
what you're doing, but if you believe so much in what you're doing, right? Like, I didn't believe in everything Malcolm X spoke about.
Okay.
He was much more
I did.
vigilant. He was much more militant.
I do, I should say.
Was much
yeah.
more militant.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well,
but my point is, people
Black advancement.
But you don't think that Malcolm X didn't think it's a possibility that he would be shot? Of
No,
course
he knew. He knew.
Yeah. I think most people that you cannot be a provocateur, right? And I'm not, listen, when I say provocateur, meaning you take provocative positions that are clearly gonna rub certain people the
Yeah.
wrong way, right? Whether you're Malcolm X, Charlie Kirk.
I don't
it
think
is-
Martin Luther King deserved that.
Absolutely not. And Martin Luther King also advocated for a peaceful,
nonviolent
nonviolent
approach.
thing, right? I don't think he was as provocative, but however, he was provocative to the extent that at that time, there was a large part of the country that didn't believe in civil rights. So that was a provocation. So my point, what I'm saying, I want to make sure people understand when I say provocative.
Correct.
Anytime you have strong feelings on one side, right? With Charlie Kirk, he was essentially trolling liberals, right? Gays, transgender people, a lot of that, DEI, things like that, right?
Everything on the right, which is a Klan ideology.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not white, right? Because I don't think that was really his position, right? And Charlie Kirk, clearly, he worked, his business partner was Candace Owens, who's black, right?
She's colored black.
Yeah, but what does that mean, though?
Because you know exactly what that means.
So first
of all,
because her ideology isn't in lockstep with the rest of the black community.
I mean, stereotypically, absolutely. Kanye West spoke about it a lot, like blacks are supposed to vote Democrat and don't tell him who he's supposed to love politically. Like,
right?
People.
But how do you feel about Kanye? That's a good example. Because Kanye is also like Kanye West is very much cut from that Candace Owens club.
First of all, Kanye West is in a different mindset and tax bracket that he's just no longer with us, right? He can't sit with us and be normal. He has to go manage his money and do what he's told to do. So he's just that individual.
What would you say to even someone like, listen, on the podcast with us, the cigar,
correct,
right?
Correct.
Koster Aaron is a conservative.
Okay.
Right? Born and raised, native son of St. Thomas.
Okay.
Owns a transportation company here at St. Thomas, right? Not a multi-millionaire, but he does well. Right? My point is, what do you say to a black conservative who says the black community is not monolithic, right? You don't get to on one hand argue for equal rights and civil rights, and then, as my black brother, and then tell me who I got to vote for, because that's the opposite of my freedom, right?
So here's the problem from my perspective with the black community.
Okay.
We're allowed to think different.
Okay.
Right? That's great. However, because of the position we're in, we need to step back and all get on the same page. And we can't right now because everything's just way too integrated.
But